Yeah, this is the film that started it all for them. We would not have Van Wilder without this movie.
This is how it is today. This is how it is today on Pop Culture Minefield. This is how it is. This is how it is. Today on Pop Culture Minefield. Today on Pop Culture Minefield.
Gosh golly, guys, welcome to the show. It's Saturday, and we got one panelist today because nobody else was available. They are all out doing shit today. Imagine it, doing something on a Saturday. I don't get that.
Yeah,
Now,
I mean,
here's the thing. When I told Joe that we were going to do this on Saturday, he almost strangled me over the internet. Why
Why?
do you get the best movies on Saturday?
I don't get that. He was so excited to finally have Saturday off so he could join us, and he joined us like what, once, twice?
Oh,
He's
because
never
he,
there.
he ended up I think he ended up swapping the hours with another coworker
He swapped back to us on
because
Saturday.
he loved this movie. These were his words. Okay. Dude, when I was young, I was Animal House.
You were young, Martin? Really?
No, Joe. That was what Joe said.
Oh. Well. change
I
happens.
lived that life myself. I hung out with some crazy kids when I was in fake college, as well as when I was in real college. And Anima wanted me to show this photo today because this is me, young, in a toga, at a toga party.
No, it's not going to be an orgy. It's going to be a toga party.
Toga party. And this is all from the period when I was in fake college. This is me on a stage play. Yeah, that's right. I'm in drag. I was playing a transvestite in a comedy, and I'm all of 17, almost 18 at this point. That robe I'm wearing is actually my bedroom curtain. That's my old friend Jeanette Hilbish. This is a photo of Martin, whom I'm still close friends with, and my very ex-wife, Lori, on campus at William and Mary when I was in fake college. I lived with Martin. He was my roommate.
Not this Martin, another Martin.
Different Martin. This is cool. I used to hang out in the graveyard. I'd sit up on top of that and kind of chill and do some writing. And this is downtown, right off campus. Mamma Mia Pizza is where I witnessed the guy getting pistol whipped by the Sicilians that owned the restaurant in the alleyway.
No.
Bandbox is where I got all my first Peter Gabriel stuff right there. Bandbox. Great place. This is, you've seen Zoe on video here. He made a video for us. That's her in the aquamarine blue, and also my ex-wife on the bridge there at Williamsburg on campus. And this was the College Deli. This was the restaurant where I yelled at that guy because he said, "Yeah, Paul McCartney. Yeah, he was in a band before, Wings."
Oh,
And I'm like sitting with my back to this guy, and I stood up over the seat and I leaned over and I said, "He was in the fucking Beatles." And then I looked at the girl. I said, "Do not sleep with him." And then I sat back down. People laughed. They thought that was funny. You know, I did the crazy college scene, man. I remember doing whippets because they were popular back then. I don't know if anybody remembers it. It's nitrous oxide.
Yep.
And they came in these, like, they were the same kind of cartridges we had for BB guns. And it was nitrous. And the guys were doing it. I was with my buddy Dan Halberstein, who's still a friend of mine to this day. As I used to call him in high school, Dan Halberjew. He even wrote an article in the Flat Hat magazine because of a joke I made. I said, "Yeah, you wear those funny hats, the Yamahas." He says it's called a Yamaha. Oh, okay. Okay, Emmanuel. You fell asleep last time. So Regis is here. Who all is here? Let's take a look. Who was the first here? Snortopoopus was first. Hello, Snorty. Emmanuel is here. Glad you could make it. Regis is here. Let's see.
I made you a list.
Oh, is free. Slasher Fred is here. This is not a horror film, but it is a classic film. It's a 70s film, not an 80s film. But I do love this movie. Let's see who else popped in. Eastland Burkholder is here. Awesome. I'm glad you guys are here. Hope everybody's having a good Saturday. By the way, Penny said there was no Loki show last night. Bullshit. There was a show, and I popped in, hung out with him for a little bit. That was fun. But anyway, my first college experience, I wasn't actually a student, but I ended up in the yearbook, which is true. And it's a nice town. I really liked Williamsburg. There was a street there, Dog Street is what the nickname was, but it's DOG, Duke of Gloucester Street. And it's got all the historic shit. And they had this nice little tavern where they served real, like, beer from the period. It was, oh my God, it was good. Come on, shake it. Yeah, baby. I don't know what she's talking about, but you guys know what she's talking?
She's always dancing to the intro music, Gerry.
Oh, yeah, it's so bouncy.
You're not the only one who gets a bouncy ass.
Yeah, I get bouncy ass with that song. What? Funny story, he's not a student. Oh, you got new puppies. Awesome. But no, it's true. I was dating that girl, Lori, and I had nothing better to do. So I quit my job at McDonald's and followed her down. And I moved in with Martin because his roommate never showed up. We held a mock funeral, a huge procession down the dormitory hallway with a cardboard coffin. That was fun. A lot of crazy shit happened. I had a blast. I wasn't accountable to anyone but myself, so it was fun. When you're not accountable to anybody or anything, that's the moments where you can actually really let loose and have fun. But within a year, I was a dad, so there you go. That light above me is pretty bright, so I'm going to put my ball cap on. So anyway, yes, Bernard Herrmann wrote the music. Great composer. Worked a lot with the producer of this film, who was also the director of Ghostbusters and Stripes. And along with that, with this film, you had Harold Ramis was one of the writers on this film. And Doug Kenny, they all wrote a lot of stuff. And Doug Kenny had a tragic end with, self-deleting. He suffered from depression.
Didn't Doug Kinney play Stork in this?
That is him.
Yeah.
You
Doug
idiot.
Kinney and
He had that Tennessee accent.
you moron.
You moron.
Yeah, Chris Miller and Doug Kenny played the two that were involved in the final scene. And they were in all the frat house scenes. Harold Ramis famously said, "No, I don't want to walk on part. I'll take a writer's credit."
And that's what he did.
And
He took a writer's credit.
Yep, and when he showed up in the limo for the red carpet premiere of Animal House, he said, "There's a guy there that opens the door and says, 'Who are you?' and then he announces you." And he opened the door, and I was in the car with Doug Kenny and Chris Miller, and he said, "Who are you?" And I said, "We're the writers." And he turns around and announces to the crowd, "They're nobody."
They're nobody.
He said, "That's what I found out where writers stand in Hollywood."
Did you hear the story about the failed actress? She kept sleeping with the writers.
And the other funny one is Kevin Bacon. This was his first big film.
Yep.
And he
This
was barred
from
from
Friday the 13th were his first films.
Yeah, he was barred from the premiere of this. He tried to get into the premiere, and they said, "No, kid, you're not allowed in." And he's like, No, you don't understand. I'm in the movie. And they're like, "Yeah, sure you are, kid.
Whatever.
Now
sure.
go away." Yeah.
He
They
looks like
kicked
a
him
kid.
out. He did.
I am so fond of this film because it kind of helped me learn how to let loose as a young adult. And the drinking. Now, I will point out, John Belushi does crush 2 cans against his head in this film, which is something tough guys used to do. But these were not like your typical beer cans from the period. They were designed specifically for him to do that. In fact, one is pre-crushed because you can see the wrinkles in it. But I showed somebody there is a trick to it. The trick is when you put it up to your head, you squeeze with your fingers in the ball of your hand, and it crushes it into your head. So,
I thought that the trick was not minding that it hurts.
it does hurt, but you don't mind.
Hurts
Just
either
kind of ignore
way.
it. Yeah.
It makes sense that they pre-crush it because you don't know how often the actor has
Oh,
to do that scene
okay,
over and over
the
again,
joke.
so-
I can't believe you didn't get the joke. You, Gerry. That's Lawrence of Arabia.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
The trick is doesn't mind it that it hurts.
I got you. The match.
Yep.
Funny, I thought that was from Prometheus.
Ugh.
Oh,
man.
another story to tell before we get going with this. When Karen Allen was being auditioned, she was actually there with Donald Sutherland, and they had the idea already that they wanted to do the affair scene in his house or her house. I forget which. It must have been
Her
her house because Boone just walks in, and she spent the night with the professor, and we see her from behind when she's dropping a sweater over herself. Otherwise, she's not dressed. She's naked. And Donald Sutherland, of course, reaches up for something from a top shelf, and you see his butt exposed.
Yeah.
And in the audition, they said to Karen Allen, "Would you be willing to do a scene where you're naked?" And she said, "We just want to shoot you from behind. Just want to show your naked butt." And she's like, "I don't want to do that." And Donald Sutherland supposedly said, "I'll do it." And he unbuckled his pants, dropped his pants and underwear, and turned around to show him his butt.
I completely 100% believe that.
Yes, and apparently that disarmed Karen Allen so much. She was like, "All right, I'll do it. If he can do it, I can do it." That's how we got the scene between them, with her butt and his butt, and Boone coming in and going, "What the hell?" She really didn't want to do it.
Right.
But Sutherland convinced her to do it by just dropping trousers right there in the audition room.
I love trivia like that.
I will point out that Bruce McGill got the role of D-Day, but he was not the first choice. Who was the first choice, Red Shirt?
I don't know that.
Dan
Who was the first
Aykroyd.
choice?
Dan
Oh
Aykroyd.
my God. That would have been terrible.
Because he was a bike dude. He loves motorcycles. And so he was perfect for the part, but he couldn't do it. And so they got McGill to do it. And McGill, I'm telling you, nobody could do it better than him. And by the way, because of this movie, I learned to do the. I don't know if you could hear that, but I just did the Lone Ranger theme on my, thumping the throat. Because I learned to do that because of this fucking movie. I saw it when I was 14.
Yeah, I started learning to do mouth music because of this film too. I just can't do the William Tell overture though. But yeah.
What's this? There was a TV attempt at this show.
Oh.
It just couldn't work.
No.
Later on, though, Dan Aykroyd would work with what's his name, Stephen Furst, playing priests, and Dan Aykroyd's character rides a motorcycle in the show where he played a priest. But God, this was a start for so many people. Belushi. This put him on the map for making films. Tom Hulse, who would go on to play Amadeus Mozart in the movie Amadeus, getting the role over Mark Hamill, because Mark Hamill, I got to be honest, I don't care that he played Elephant Man and Amadeus on stage. Not the right actor.
No.
Yeah, it was called Delta House with Michelle Pfeiffer. That's right. And it failed.
Yeah.
Tim Matheson.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The big one. The other one is Larry's Pinto's girlfriend, the very young daughter of the mayor.
Right.
Oh my God.
That's Sarah
she
Holcomb.
wound up.
She did. Yeah.
One more movie. What was it?
Oh, she was in Caddyshack. She was the main character's girlfriend again. And she was really good in both films. But she got into drugs and alcohol and nearly killed her. And she left Hollywood and hasn't come back. She has a happy life.
That's it. Yeah,
she's 66 years old now.
Yeah, she had a very, very successful 2-movie career. And that was it.
But some other ones that are really good in this film, like I said, were Tom Hulse, Stephen Furst, first film, Peter Riegert, who was a stage actor, got the part of Schoenstein, and his nickname was Otter. Was that it? Or
yes, Otter.
Otter.
Yes.
And he had the biggest impact on me, because if there was anybody that I was like in college or in life in general at that time, was his character. I was very much like him. The scene where the band's playing, you see everybody out there dancing. I was the guy sitting by the stage, just wearing sunglasses, just bouncing my head to the music.
Actually, I just want to correct you on that. Peter Riegert, Donald Schoenstein played Boone.
Thank you. Well,
Tim
Martin's the one.
Yeah,
and
Tim
said yes.
Matheson
Right.
was Otter.
So you can
Yeah.
correct Martin, because I wasn't sure which one he was.
Yeah, no. But he had the cutest girlfriend.
Me no
'cause, oh
speak
boy.
English.
So again,
No
before this
hablas.
starts, I
No
wasn't done
hablas.
with the trivia here. Tim Matheson, who plays Otter,
Yes.
this is not his first gig. He had worked with Kurt Russell. They had a TV series together, but he went, he wanted to get into film. And so he was best known to many of us as the voice of Johnny Quest. And later he was Jace in Space Ghost. And from that point, he just ended up doing real acting. He was in the original film that inspired the Brady Bunch. I think it was that one, Yours, Mine, and Ours? Was that it?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yours, Mine, and Ours. And
Yeah.
it was the direct inspiration for Sherwin Schwartz's Brady Bunch. So, okay, so at the beginning, we're getting the credits and we get to see these two characters, Tom Hulson and Stephen First, walking along campus because this is Pledge Week with the fraternities. So they're going to first go to the fucking asshole house. These are the enemies. What is it? Tri Delta? Is that it? I forget what the name of the fraternity is. And it's for the Animal House.
Omega? Was it the Omega House? Trying to remember. Let me look at the trivia.
Delta,
Yes.
I think.
Always
Delta
something
Tau
with
Chi.
letters. It
Delta
always
Tau
has
Chi
three
is
letters.
Animal. Delta Tau
Omega.
Chi is Animal House.
That's what I'm talking
which
about.
is-
Is the Animal House is
Oh.
Delta.
Yes. And by the way, DT, what does that stand for?
Delirium Tremors.
Yeah, alcohol withdrawal.
Not just alcohol.
I'm a paramedic. I know that.
I know. I figured you would. As far as I'm concerned, they named the house after the DTs because of the drinking.
Yeah, I get it. So they
Yeah.
go to this fancy shindig, and I love Doug Niedermeyer. What a fucking name! The names of some of these characters fucking slay me.
Yes.
And
That's
Tom
actually
Hulse
a
has that
pretty common
droopy
name,
eye.
Gary. That's a pretty common
has-
German name, Niedermeyer.
He has a droopy eye. That's always caught my attention. And Tom Hulse, I really liked his acting career. A lot of the stuff he picked. Slam Dance is a film I want to do on a Wednesday because I love that movie with him. But this is clearly the upper crust fucking assholes. And Kevin Bacon's character is one of the pledges. And one of the funniest things, so he walks these two, Tom Hulse and Stephen First, and walks them through the room. This is so-so, this is so-so, and then walks them right into the loser area. The people are not going to be joining the fraternity. And they're showing extremes of everybody. They're all rejects. And then when Stephen First wanders out again, he gets walked right back over to that little corner.
Yeah.
There he is, Greg Marmalard. That's Greg Marmalard. And oh, fuck, Tom is here.
I stopped in for a few minutes to say hi, and it's not a orgy, it's a toga party.
I told you. That's
I love Kevin
They
Bacon.
took the bar.
He's going to
The
get cooties
whole
from this guy.
fucking bar.
Yeah, I know. The scene where they drop the booze and Bluto loses it is one of my favorite moments in the film.
Oh, yes. Case of beer hits the ground. He's just like,
No, I think that's booze. I think that's bottles of booze, like liquor.
oh, geez.
And he just fucking starts crying.
Yep.
So Greg Marmalard, what a fucking
that's-
name, right?
If that's really booze and not beer, that's a lot of money. Everybody would
Did
Yeah.
the
That's not
Germans give up
real.
when they bombed Pearl Harbor? No.
Germans?
And what's funny is he screwed that up maybe
Let
on
him go, he's a
purpose.
roll.
And so they kept it in, and they just thought it was fucking, and because they do that response to it, Germans, Let him go with it. He's on a roll. I love that, Tom. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. The fucking mannequin smashing on the ground.
Well, it's funny because John Belushi only has what, 5 lines in the whole movie?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah,
but
like,
he's got the eyebrows.
That's it.
Yeah, but Belushi's got the eyebrows, and that's all he needs in this movie is the eyebrows.
The
He says
wiggling
sorry
eyebrows.
when he bashes the guitar, and then he says they took the bar, the whole fucking bar.
And that's that's Stephen Bishop, by the way.
Then his big speech, yeah.
Yeah, that scene on the stairway
by the way,
where the guy's playing guitar. If I had a cherry or whatever that song is, that's Stephen Bishop, the
and he
singer.
says toga a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. That, by the way,
toga.
when Belushi smashed the guitar against the wall, he cracked the plasterboard, and he damaged the wall. That was the only damage done to that fraternity house where they were filming for the entire time they were filming. And the fraternity didn't patch the wall. They put a brass frame around
my
the dent
fucking
in
God,
the wall.
really?
Yes.
I would
That's
too.
awesome.
Yes.
Like John Belushi was here. I'd make him sign
John
this
Belushi
shit too.
smashed a guitar against the wall here.
What's hilarious is I think I brought this up on the Toxic Tuesday where we did this, is I didn't even know that was a real song until like recent years. Like I gave my love a rose. Like that whole thing. I thought that was just made up bullshit on the spot. I didn't realize that was like a real folk song until like more recent years here. Yeah.
And I have to say I have the same reaction to most folk music that Pluto did to that song.
Hey man,
Of course we got Karen Allen looking hot as fuck here.
Oh my God, yes.
He always does.
Boone was definitely punching above his weight class in this movie.
Absolutely. And again, I want to point out, I love Paul Rigger's character because that's so close to who I was. I wasn't like these other guys. I was like him in college.
Yeah, I think we were trying to figure out who he was basically as far as the group, because if you don't know, like the group of guys that wrote this, they're all kind of based on themselves.
Yep.
Like the National Lampoon's crew and the Second City guys and all that stuff that came in. Like
I've always guessed
D-Day was supposed to be Dan Aykroyd. Right?
Yep.
Like he was,
you
know, for instance.
Well, most of this.
And I always thought what's his face here on the right kind of represented Harold Ramis, I think. I couldn't
Well,
be
that's
wrong,
just it. That's what I was about to say is he's Jewish. So clearly that's Harold Ramis.
Right. Yeah. By the way, the 3 writers, I believe 2 of them went to Dartmouth, and one of them apparently for some period of time went to a college in Massachusetts. I know people from named Amherst College, and that features in the film. It's actually named in the film by Otter. He says, I'm Frank Lyman from Amherst. And my friend said, he's not from Amherst because you don't pronounce the H.
You are Flounder.
Yeah. And he told me that D-Day riding his motorcycle up to the first floor landing of the fraternity house actually happened at Amherst. Most of the rest of the anecdotes came from Dartmouth.
Yeah.
But Emily Dickinson College is from the 5 College area around Amherst. I'm pretty sure it's Mount Holyoke.
Why not?
But yeah, it's crazy.
You're Pinto.
He said when this movie was aired at Amherst College, when he was there in the early 80s, that it almost caused a riot when Otter says his line and mentions Amherst, and the place went nuts, and they had to stop the movie.
This was a huge hit at the time, yeah.
Oh yeah,
it was one of the biggest comedies ever still to this day. I mean, especially with inflation.
Yep.
Hey guys, I had to step away for a second. Sorry.
You are Pinto.
Hello.
Amherst no longer has frats, according to Max Shea.
Why Flounder? Why?
Yeah, they were. Yeah. They Amherst was almost as hostile to the fraternities as as Faber College was to the Delta Tau Chi.
And I do, I should tell this story right now because when I was going to Eastern Illinois University, I would go out drinking with my roommate, and we would get hammered. Tom Rowe, great guy, great buddy to drink with. And one night I had to pick up a word processor from a friend of mine, Charlemagne, I knew at the Catholic Church. And she says at night she stays at one of the sorority houses as the den mother. I don't know what they call that, to make sure they're not bringing boys into the sorority house. So he and I showed up drunk to the house, and we knocked on the door. And this girl, just a cute little tiny blonde girl, answered the door, kind of sheepish because she doesn't know who we are. And she's like, "Can I help you?" And I was about to tell her, "Yes, I'm here to pick up a word processor from." But before I can get the words out, Tom goes, "Yes, we're here to pick up von Leibowitz."
Holy shit.
And I just got so confused, like, what? And then I remembered what that was from. I went, "Oh, shit." And then I looked at her, looked back at him, and then I went into hysterical laughter, and shit freaked her out, and she slammed the door shut and went and got Charlemagne to come talk.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he doesn't say shit. He says shit. It's almost with a
Holy
TH
shit.
and an E.
It's two syllables.
Christ,
Shit.
7 years of college down the drain. Might as well join the fucking Peace Corps.
Now, D-Day looks like a guy destined for the military. And at the end of the film, he just disappeared.
Yep.
Yeah,
Whereabouts
that's it.
unknown.
He just disappeared.
Yeah. We know.
Yeah. I got the impression, and I have gotten the impression every time I've watched this movie, that John Vernon was having an absolute ball.
Blast.
playing Dean.
I
Fat,
know he
drunk, and
was.
stupid is
Yeah.
no way to go through life, son. That's,
Yeah. That's one of my
Yeah,
favorite. That's one of my two favorite lines from him.
Yeah.
Oh, this has a bunch of great lines. That's one of them. The other one is like, "This requires a stupid and futile gesture."
Yeah.
And we're just the guys to make
I state your name. I state your name. Do hereby pledge
allegiance to the
frat.
fraternity.
Do hereby pledge allegiance to the frat.
With liberty and justice for all. Amen.
Amen. You are Pinto. You are Flounder. Why? Why not?
Oh. It's so over the top. And I know, Anima, before the show you were talking about this and how different it's just how unreal and different from college culture is in Europe. This is an incredible exaggeration in almost every case of fraternity culture in the United
Is
States.
it though?
Even in the
I mean,
early
it was
60s.
then maybe, but now, I mean, there was
Well-
a thing. I feel like this movie almost had the Godfather effect. I don't know if you agree with me or
It
not,
did.
Red Shirt, but I
No, I
feel
do.
like to where, the gangsters started acting like the Godfather after the Godfather came out. I think college
Yeah.
fraternity started acting more like Animal House after Animal
They
House came out.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. But it was the downfall of a lot of fraternities as a result. But it
Well,
was,
yeah, because they had to
food
keep
fight.
one-upping themselves and everything. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And food, the concept of a food fight came out of this movie. I don't think they existed much before Animal House, before John Belushi yelled "third fight."
Well, there was one in
And-
was one in Doctor Strangelove, but it got cut out. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but it really is a if your fraternity were the craziest fraternity across the entire United States every day, that it would look like this. It's like pull all of the Florida Man stories together and make them one person. That's what it would be. If all of the Florida Man stories were written about one guy, and all of the crazy fraternity stories were written about one fraternity, it would be Delta Tau Chi.
Oh, and I love Donald
So.
Sutherland in this.
Oh yeah.
He is like every hippy dippy fucking
Teacher.
Honestly, I wonder if his character is more based on more closer to modern professors at that time. Oh, this is a great bit here too.
Some of the lines I used to quote all the time. Would you mind if I massage your thigh while you eat?
Belushi
Is this
under the
supposed to be
bleachers.
this soft?
Nothing.
Look at these Raunchy assholes.
Polished. Is that? Correct me if I'm wrong, Gary, but that's a polished helmet liner he's wearing there.
Yeah, it's weird.
Oh
It's
God.
like been chromed or something because
Yeah.
it sticks out a little bit, so it could be an M1 helmet, full helmet. But it looks like I can see the rivets in it that hold the headgear in. So that's probably the liner. And I don't know how they did that. Unless they had it plated.
Now we're willing to trade looks for morally casually attitude.
Hey, he can't do that to our pledges. Only we can do that to our
A
pledges.
pledge pin?
Yeah, I know the spitting that he does while he's talking.
Yes. Oh.
Why is there a pledge pin on your uniform?
Hooked it. Damn.
And tuck in your pajamas.
Oh, wait a minute. The ball goes into the soup. We'll see that later.
She doesn't care. Yeah, there's a great payoff with Bluto who eats it.
Yeah.
Yes. He eats the golf ball.
It's probably nice.
And one goes in and breaks Dean Wormer's glass or mug.
Yep.
I love that.
And puts water all over his desk, and he's just like,
No, I think that's actually the M1 helmet. And it's easy. You can actually, like, once you take the paint off, you can actually have the electro glazing with the chrome.
right.
So that's what
You
they
can
probably
plate it.
did, is had a M1 helmet plated.
Yes.
Electroplated. And I love this. He gets dragged by the fucking horse.
Yes. Yeah. Otter hits the horse in the butt first and makes it rear up, and then he hits Niedermeyer in the helmet with the next shot and knocks him off the horse, and then the horse takes off with him, dragging him on the ground.
Now, Halls here reminds me of a young Robert Downey Jr. in the way he dressed in a college movie called Going Back to School.
Grab a brute. Doesn't cost nothing.
Yeah.
Just great
think-
lines in this film.
Look at that. John
What?
Landis made a reference to Niedermeyer's death.
In the
Twilight
Twilight
Zone.
Zone movie.
Yeah, he was fragged by his own troops.
Right.
I wonder why.
If you don't know what that is, it's an actual term.
Yes.
The term came from Vietnam, but it's not the first time that's happened. I mean, I've heard stories going back to World War One, even from my own grandfather.
It's
That
actually
they considered throwing a frag into the bunker to kill their sergeant because he was such an asshole.
There's actually dialogue about it in geez, how did I forget this name? We were going to talk about it, Gary. I'm still reading the book. Band of Brothers,
Oh,
referring to Captain Sobel.
yep.
They're about ready to off Captain Sobel if they have to go into combat with him. Some of the soldiers would rather see him die than follow him.
And I do want to point out, by the way, the song "Hey Hey Paula" came up there. The soundtrack to this fucking album is just perfect. And the fun part is when you hear the song "Louie Louie" in the film, it is not the original album version. They found out it was too expensive, so what they did is they paid for the rights to do a cover of the song, and John Belushi sang it, and it's also on the album.
I think the one that's in the movie is the Kingsman version, but they don't have it on the album.
It's not.
That
It's
part, you're
Belushi.
right. Are you sure?
Belushi, absolutely positive.
I don't know about that.
It
I
is
think
not
one
the
in
original
movie-
because the original is different in the performance. I know that song. Now I will tell you, in the original theatrical release, it might have been the Kingsmen, but in the version I have, that is John Belushi singing, and you know that they'll do that when they recut a film. They'll remove music for it if there are any copyright issues or re-release issues with a song,
Right.
and they'll use another version or a song like it. And I'm
And-
telling you, in the version that I own, that is John Belushi, not the Kingsmen. Because
the
the
guys-
Kingsmen there's a slur in their speech when they're doing the song that makes it harder to understand what they're
I mean, the
singing
version
about.
listed in the credits is the Kingsman. So, and I was gonna say, and I recently watched it on 4K, and I was pretty sure it was the Kingsman version in there.
Well, we just watched it this week, and I guarantee you the version that we just listened to was Belushi's version because it's more legible. You can actually understand the words better. So it might
the
just
way-
be a version they didn't have the rights for at the time.
The guy who played Otis Day, who supposedly sang the song at the fraternity
Yeah.
party, after the movie, legally changed his name to Otis Day
Otis Day.
and
Yeah.
formed a band called
Fuck
Otis Day
no.
and the Nights. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Get the fuck out of here! Really?
Yeah. He
Holy
changed.
shit.
He was like,
you didn't
he
know
wasn't
that?
getting anywhere after this movie. He couldn't get it because his career was going nowhere. He figured I might as well change his name to Otis Day legally and became the lead singer for Otis Day and the Nights and had a music career afterwards.
Absolutely crazy. I didn't know that. I love this scene a lot. Stephen First is terrified of
Well,
this.
they've
fucking
probably
horse.
made more money off the soundtrack than anything else.
Oh, absolutely, they did. God, that record sold. I loved it and cherished my copy. I got mine secondhand from the radio station there at William and Mary. And I would sit and just listen to it for hours. And I had that thing for years. So this is really a cool scene because Stephen First is terrified of this horse. And you get to see another creepy side of this guy. Feeding the horse with his mouth is just kind of a weird thing to do. It's the same thing that Marlon Brando did in the Missouri Breaks. He would feed his horse with his mouth, feeding him carrots. And this builds up because right at this point, Bluto and I can't remember, was it D-Day, are coming there to steal the horse while First is there.
Yes.
And First, because he hates this guy so much, gets talked into helping. And I love the way he gets talked into it.
Yeah. You hate Niedermeyer? Yes. You hate this horse? Yes. Well, let's do some.
So they
go-
whatever it is.
That scene was awesome when they freeze frame the horse with that heart attack.
Oh, yeah, when he
expression.
has a heart attack.
Yep. There were blanks in this gun.
I didn't even shoot him. Fucking gave the
Holy
horse
shit.
a heart attack. Yeah,
Yes.
holy shit. Holy shit.
Holy shit. Maybe he had a heart attack. Holy shit.
This scene, I swear to God, always cracks me up because it reminds me of an incident in my life with some other asshole. And him just like jumping around, looking around him like he can't be seen is so fucking goofy. And so John Belushi.
Yes.
Well, the beauty of this whole horse scene is not only just that the horse dies in the scene, right? The
Yeah,
payoff. The
Yeah.
payoff is when the guy comes in when they're measuring the door and then he comes in with the fucking chainsaw. That's the
Because
payoff.
the horse is now in rigor mortis. And
Yeah,
Dean
but-
Werber's talking to the mayor, and the guy comes in, the janitor comes in, is like, can't take it out of here, can't drag it out of here. So he comes in with a chainsaw and fires it up.
It's a rigor mortis, but in a completely unnatural position.
Yeah,
With
it's
the
on its
four
back
legs.
with its feet
Straight
in
up.
the air. Oh. Yeah, talk
Oh
about
my
a prank
God.
gone wrong. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
so all right, let's get to the scene. So I love this scene so fucking much because they give a Colt 45 combat to Stephen First
1911.
Flounder's character. Yeah, 1911A, and hand it to him. And they said, "You know what to do." And he goes in there and he can't do it.
And the horse
And it's
is
all a
scaring
prank
him.
because there's no bullet in there. You know, it's blanks. So he fires it in the air, and fucking horse just strokes up and dies.
The noise
Yeah,
it
the
makes
hor-
when it dies was very goofy too. Because you don't
Yes.
see it. You're outside the office and you just hear a weird noise, and then you hear the thump when it hits the floor. And what the fuck just happened? Did he
And
really
then you're
shoot it?
outside. Yes. Yeah, they're sitting out in the waiting room and they hear the thud and they look at each other in horror like, I thought you put blanks in that gun. I did put blanks in that gun.
They didn't give it to him to shoot at the horse anyway.
I
They're
know.
shocked.
Hey, just to let you guys know, Matthew Marsden has agreed to do an interview.
Nice.
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 Cool.
He messaged me, so yeah, I'm gonna have some fun doing that. I like that guy. Yeah, he looks and he goes, "There were blanks in the gun." Maybe he had a heart attack.
Run away.
Yeah, Monty Python. Run away.
Yes. Oh, here we go.
Oh my god. The scene, yes, I love the shopping cart scene. Because he can't help but be a good guy. But I love the devil and the angel on the shoulder scene. Go
Here,
ahead,
yeah.
the horse.
fuck her brains out. You can't do that. That would be wrong.
You'll never
This
respect
way.
yourself again.
Yeah, the mayor is so clearly fucking bought. He's like gangster.
Oh, he's connected.
Yeah, he's like, you ever mention extortion again, and I'll break your legs.
Yeah.
right,
Right.
exactly.
Look the guy
Yes.
with the chainsaw.
There it is, the chainsaw. Yep. This is the golf ball scene where you get the payoff of the golf ball. There it is.
Yes.
And he picks it up and fucking starts eating it, like bites into it like a candy bar. Like, what the fuck?
Yep. His whole routine, I've read, going down the cafeteria line, piling food on his tray was completely ad-libbed. John Landis just told the cameraman,
Eating the
followed
Jello
him.
was too. The way he
Yeah.
ate the Jello was also ad-libbed.
No, the whole thing was ad-libbed. He just did this whole thing. As he goes down, he pulls food off, tries it, puts it back. He eats a hamburger whole. He eats the Jello by licking it off. All of this was just John Belushi told go. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like the way they directed in Caddyshack, the way they directed
Bill Murray.
shit.
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray. Thank you, Tom. Bill
Yeah,
Murray
they just
in
rolled the
Caddyshack.
camera and just let him do
roll-
shit.
Exactly. That ball washing scene in Caddyshack was a half an hour of footage.
That and the
They cut it-
Cinderella boy. Yeah,
Yeah. Yes.
he's a Cinderella boy.
Yeah.
It's in the hole.
Also the line about I still got that going for me. I fucking love that.
yeah,
Yeah.
that whole Dalai
I got-
Lama thing.
This is, if you'll allow me one digression, I got to tell you, Bill Murray was a really avid golfer. I don't know if he still plays as much.
Oh yeah, I think.
But one day
His
he was
brothers
at-
and he play together. Yes, they do.
Yeah. So he was at a golf course. He was at a par 3. He said, I got a caddy with me. And the pin is elevated and there's water in front of it and a bridge across. So my caddy walks over to the bridge and I hit my tee shot. And the caddy, seeing where the ball's going, trots across the bridge and runs up the hill to the green. And he turns around and goes to Bill Murray at the tee. It's in the hole. It's in the hole. And Bill's like, you're shitting me. He got a hole in one at a par 3. And his caddy was
Get outta
imitating
here.
him from Caddyshack.
Yeah, but if you didn't know that, they're 4 brothers, the Murray brothers, and they absolutely love playing golf together. They even, in order to play golf and have fun and make money, they did a TV show on Comedy Central. It lasted 2 seasons of just them doing just riffing. And it was great. I loved it. The 4 of them playing golf and talking shit.
Yep.
Yeah, and I agree with you. This is one of my favorite moments is when he delivers her to the door and then rings the bell and runs.
Yes.
Although I am
Oh,
curious, at the end of the film, when he and she approach Carmine, and she says, "We have to get married." I was like, they just did it, and I'm like, there's no way she's pregnant already. I didn't understand that joke, even though it is funny. You guys, any insight into that?
No, I don't think that. I mean, she might have. I mean, a pregnancy test might have shown it, but she certainly wouldn't have been.
They
showing
just did
it.
it that night and morning.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just that,
I don't think
through
they
this
did.
thing about premarital sex. So you had sex, now you have to marry because you did it, and she's not.
Well, they
doing it.
rolled
yeah,
off of each other in the sleeping bag.
Wait,
Yeah.
She rolled.
I don't
off
think
of-
they did it because
vice versa.
when
She probably was
uh,
already pregnant and just looking for a husband.
No.
That's
Oh.
she
says
certainly
she's
knew how to
13.
stuff
I'm
a
like,
bra.
that girl is not 13. She was like 18 or 19 when she played that part. And it's like, I'm sorry, she is not 13. But I love that scene. I have to tell you something too. I'm only 13. And then he like got his hands in her bra, and then she collapses drunk, and he's left with the bra and toilet paper coming out of the wadded toilet
Yes.
paper coming out.
She's padded the bra with toilet paper.
Yes, I agree with you on the Raimis. I've worked with, and I know Ted. He's a nice guy. Because I had to paint him on that poster because he's in one of Josh's films, so he's in there. But he was nervous, and he kept saying, "I don't want to be too prominent." And I told him, I said, "You're in the bottom right corner, very small." And he goes, "Oh, okay." So he was cool with it.
Yeah. This joke was ad-libbed by John Belushi as well. I'm a zit. Get it?
Yeah, I'm a zit. Get it? Oh my God, yeah. Could I have 10,000 marbles when he goes into the store?
Yeah.
That's a great scene. And I love this because all the songs that you hear playing, or the song you hear playing every time they cut to this scene, is Stephen Bishop's song. That's him singing. And what everybody liked about Stephen Bishop is he could do that Frankie Valli high pitch soprano voice. Walk like a man.
The
Is
baby.
anything happening yet?
She's just going to town. You can hear it. She's just going to town. And it's in the second time they're in this scene where she asks, "Is it supposed to be this soft?"
Yes. But the punchline is all physical humor because she gives up. She takes
And pulls the surgical gloves off.
Pulls the surgical gloves off. Oh my God. Oh.
You never understood the bra padding? She's 13, trying to look like she's an adult, is the point of that scene.
I'm with Venkman's girl. I never got that too.
Girls used to pad their bras.
Yeah.
Not all of us.
Some didn't need to.
Some were happy they didn't have stuff that gets in the way all the time, or too much of it.
That is a classic scene with Kevin Bacon. Remain calm. Everything is okay. This scene's ridiculous. So over the top. It's like, a college guy fantasy that they're all having a slumber party and naked having a pillow fight. But a lot of people don't understand why he falls backward. Does
He
anybody
has
want to
an
explain why?
erection.
Yes, he got an erection that pushed him backward. That's why he falls. And another funny part of this is he's thumping against the house, going from window
Yes.
to window, and they're acting like they can't hear. It's so fucking insane.
Yep.
This
Yeah,
is the
it's
scene,
a lot.
Slasher. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we,
he
do
it's
monkey
the
on
loud
this?
his
Martin,
Sorry.
before we show this, or do
What?
I need to stop? There's tits in this scene.
You know, there are. You see it? You have the window covering.
Okay. Because she starts feeling herself up, and that's when he collapses.
Oh no! I believe me. I took all that's frames off.
Of course, Flounder
Martin
delivers a
spent
great line
a
in
long
the film.
time examining that scene.
The scene where the next morning after leaving the girls at the bar, says, women can't live with him, can't live without him. Right?
Mhm.
Fucking Flounder.
Belushi bin diving.
Going to college on the GI Bill.
Now, kids, this is what they're looking for is called a mimeograph.
It has all the questions from the test.
Yeah,
but
it's the
they
ink
grab the
sheet.
test.
It's the ink sheet that was imprinted on the test, so you can read it. And they throw those away, and that's what they're looking for. Is they're looking for the printer sheet that basically produced the test, so they can read the questions. The smell of that ink was amazing. Used to get high on that
Yes.
in 6th grade.
So this is when they find out they failed.
Yes.
We all failed. How is that possible? The idiot stole the wrong test. And here comes Dean Wormer. He is so happy in this scene. No more fun anytime.
Yep.
Double secret probation.
Put a sock in it, boy.
Put a sock in it, boy. Yeah, their grade point averages are like around 1. It's so bad.
Mr. Blutowski, 0.0. Oh yeah,
God, what a
he's
good actor.
enjoying his moment here. He's serious this time. What do we got to do? Toga party.
Oh god, this chanting I've heard so many times since.
Toga, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And Karen Allen, she's that girl that's too emotionally mature for her boyfriend. And by the way, John Vernon, one of my favorite films that was only 3 years before this one, was Brannigan with John Wayne.
I'll write you a note. I'll say you're too well to attend. Oh.
Fred, his brother, was a former member of the fraternity. So he's what do they call that? I forget that.
A legacy. He's a legacy.
A legacy. Because I was a legacy with the fraternity I joined. It was a fraternity on Eastern Illinois University campus that was veterans, military veterans, called the Black Knights of the Emblem. BKE. Beta Kappa Epsilon. Stuffing fucking food in shirts. And I understand why this character makes a mistake with this girl, because she's working as a cashier. But, you know, lo and behold, as young as 13, you could work at a grocery store, but you couldn't work full time. Child labor laws.
Right.
Finding that out shocked me, because here you need to be 16 to work. You can't officially
It's
have
changed
a job
over the
under
years.
16.
Because I think it's set here too. You got to be 16 now.
When I was in high school, you had to be 16 to do a dangerous job, like welding.
And if you had to
spot
handle
welding.
liquor, and if you had
You
to
had to
handle
be-
liquor,
You had to be
Oh,
of
that's
legal
not
you had
age
to
to
be
handle
18.
liquor.
You had to be
Yeah.
18 when I was a kid to handle liquor. And she's in a store that sells beer, so it's like, you know, it's a film.
I watched the
Steve
summer show
Wormer,
when I was
wife.
15, and that was in the 90s, and I wasn't allowed. Just the year after that, when I was 16. That was the 90s.
Yep.
I
So
think it's still the
I have
same.
never, ever in my life seen anybody or done myself what he's doing, flirting with this older lady with a fucking cucumber.
Yeah.
And then he becomes terrified when he finds out who she is.
Yeah. Like,
But
oh,
she's
shit.
like, we don't need to. And he just walks out with stolen shit. But oh my God, Hulse's character. She catches him.
It looks like you gained some weight since you came in. Oh, they had a wonderful dialogue about sensuous versus sensual, which
Yeah.
was hysterical. And she's correcting his English.
And I do want to point out, there are some times when she's got a certain look. She looks like my first, ex-girlfriend, who's still a friend of mine. Welcome to the Delta Toga party.
Uh-huh.
He's such a player.
He is. Especially when we see his room later.
Yeah, with the leopard print.
Yes. And he's driving around in a 50s Corvette. Yeah, he doesn't give an F because he's obviously come from money. He knows Dad will get him out of whatever trouble he gets into. Oh, here we go.
There goes the guitar.
Yep.
It always hurts me watching stuff like that. Not just because I play the guitar, but destroying instruments. It's like, why?
I don't know. If you play that song on a guitar, I might smash the guitar.
Well, amongst guitar players, that one forbidden song is Stairway to Heaven. The music store where I go to buy my strings, in the guitar section, there's a big sign on the wall, no Stairway to Heaven. It's hilarious.
Was that an actual lawsuit that ended up happening? I'm trying to remember why it's in music stores. It's like a lawsuit or something.
I don't know. I just figured guitar players or musicians, period, get annoyed because everybody trying out a guitar chooses that fucking song. It's annoying.
I do still love the scene in Wayne's World though, and it's like no stairway heavy. It's like no stairway, Denied.
By the way, hi Shanatsky.
Hell.
Sneaking in like that. How dare you?
Oh, Slush Red says in Killer Clowns from Outer Space, which also had John Vernon Mooney, says that he had survived the Korean War. And in this movie, Niedermeyer says that his father also was in Korea.
So
and Vernon
like
was the right age to have been in Korea. I don't know if he served. Let me go check and see. He was in so many great movies. He was in Dirty Harry, played the mayor. God damn. Yeah, it doesn't say anything in his bio. He's also in I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker.
Yes. He's the big guy.
Yeah, Mr. Big. Yeah, Tom, don't you need to go? Or are you just going to fuck it all up?
Yeah,
and hang out?
actually, I should have left a few minutes ago, but yeah, I'm going to head out here. It's a good movie. I'm glad you guys got a chance to talk about it. Thanks for having me, and hopefully you enjoy the rest of the show.
This was originally, you can tell, our logo is on there. Yours and my logo. We'll be hanging out next weekend, so it'll be fun.
I hope so. All right. Take care,
yeah,
guys.
I hope so.
See you, Tom.
My weekends are all out of whack, so all right.
I know, buddy. Take it easy, man. I'll see you later.
Bye, Tom.
No more fun.
No more fun anymore. Or it's either anytime or anymore. I've never understood it because there's noise right when he says it.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people don't know the dresses, how they were designed back then. They had this insert that was under the skirt to let it billow out. And that's what she just kicked off.
Yeah, it's called a petticoat.
So he's Canadian, first of all.
Whoa, 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 whoa. We're being raided by Mephisto.
It's better to be rated by Mephisto than a fisting.
Jesus Christ. There goes back to Gerry.
Yeah, Anima, you're definitely the mature one in the relationship.
Sometimes.
This is true, Vinkman's girl. He forgets that he's supposed to go. That's why I had to remind him. Like, are you supposed to go? Because he's actually enjoying hanging out. He just enjoys this shit.
And he told us he has to leave half an hour ago. So
yeah.
He definitely enjoys being here.
Yes. Well,
he's
Tom
one of those
likes
people
the movie.
like us that just loves movies. And
yeah, and he just wants to hang out and listen to the conversation.
There it is.
Yeah.
The leopard print.
The leopard print.
Everything. Tiger stripe pillows. Lit from above. Clearly, he's a fucking player.
Oh, yeah.
I bet he has a mirror on the ceiling, too.
I would be
I bet
surprised.
he does.
This is so fucking funny. He cannot get that fucking bra undone. I remember when I was in the Army and I was like really quick to get a bra off, front or back, it didn't matter. And they're like, "How are you so good at that?" And I said, "I worked in a nursing home, taking care of old women." and you got to hold them up and get their bras off to help them get ready for their night, sleep. I said, and I know it's not romantic or sexy, but that's how I fucking learned to undo bras.
You should have just said experience. That would have made it sound like you got laid.
It
all
would
the
sound so
time.
much better, but it's not. It's not. I can't lie. You can't lie. I can't embellish. I have to be honest. When people ask me a question, I tell them. That includes girls.
No. It's not lying.
They always
It's
found it
creative
funny.
truth-telling.
Hey, Jacob.
They did find it funny. This is it. He reaches into her bra, and then collapses. She's unconscious lying there, and boy, she does show her titties here, by the way. So I hope that's covered, Martin.
It should be.
We can get trouble.
I love that assurance you have. Should be, Martin.
I love this.
Yep.
The devil and angel. Oh, good. It skipped over it.
Yeah.
You man of little faith.
No, I have no faith. When you don't assure me, that scares the shit out of me, because we'll get in a lot of trouble for that stuff. The racist little jockey on the front walk.
It is odd
We
how the
talk
moral mores change over time. Some things become completely okay that weren't before, and vice versa. Like, you can swear all you want now, but God forbid that you show a titty.
This is so fucking funny. His wife is being ridiculous. She's drunk. He's like, what the hell is wrong with you? She just got sexed up by a young man. That's what.
Yeah, but he knows.
The Daily Fabarian.
Read that. He sent her away.
And this is where she narcs on the girl, Greg Marmalard's girlfriend, so she can be the one that gives him a hand job with gloves on.
My God, that woman is good.
Did any of you guys ever
This is
the movie and series that Tim Matheson did with Kurt Russell?
Nope.
no.
Anima?
It's called The Quest.
Are you seriously asking me?
You should have said. You have to say no. We all said no.
You know I haven't seen shit, so.
Morgan and Quentin Bodine search the West for their missing sister. Tim Matheson and fucking Kurt Russell. It was a good show.
Mhm.
Came out in 1976, 2 years before this. Giving dangerous narcotic diet pills to its members. And I love some of the shit because we did stuff like that in high school. I remember one time during an exam, I was done and everybody was still testing, their heads are down. So I just went with my head down and went, dildo. And the teacher looked up and he's like, who said that? Who said that? And I jumped up and I pointed across the room. The dildo did. And I got kicked out of class. It was awesome. The dildo did. Yeah, the Food King line is great at the end. Yells at the cops. They're robbing the Food King. And they take off running.
Yeah, well, Kevin Bacon's repeated "all is well" line made his career, as far as I'm concerned.
Yep. Because he starts out like calm and then he gets panicky. All is well.
Yep. I'll tell you what's fair and what's not. We tell those assholes to shut up. Shut up, you assholes.
Which makes Karen Allen's character laugh.
He says, I thought you were pre-med. I'm pre-law. I thought you were pre-med. What's the difference?
She's doing some kind of crazy shorthand because I watched her write.
Yeah.
She's not writing words.
No. And if the whole fraternity system is guilty, he's trying to pin this on everything. Indictment of our entire American society.
And yeah, this is where he says, badmouth the United States of America. We won't stand for that. And they all get up and leave. Can't leave here. Vernon's yelling at him. You get back here. And they just keep walking out, giving him the look. This is great.
It's the Chewbacca defense.
Charter. Yeah, the Chewbacca defense. Don't fit, you must acquit. And they're taking everything. Like nothing is left behind. The mannequins too. But when he walks out and trips, there it is. Right there. Right there. He sees him break the bottles. And he just, Belushi's character just loses it.
Yep.
And I love it when he walks by and he's like, says something to him, whispers or mumbles, asshole. He goes, what did he say to me?
I didn't catch that.
Hey, Cam. Have a good dinner. Thanks for stopping in.
Hey, congratulations, man.
Oh, anniversary. I didn't catch that. Absolutely.
Yes.
Happy anniversary. Does the anniversary start from when you met or from when you had sex? I've never understood that.
Don't feel obligated to answer that, Cam.
No, please do answer. It's funny.
Gerry displaying his usual maturity.
There we go. He's got beer again. Big old case of it. They borrowed Fred's car, his brother's car. Fred won't be happy. And what a lot of people don't realize, it's Fred's car that they tear apart later to use as the Deathmobile.
Yes. Because they trash it so badly getting out of the nightclub parking lot.
That is a gorgeous
Yeah,
car.
he just keeps hitting cars, leaving. It's like, oh my fucking God, stop hitting cars. And all the cans are fake beer cans that are designed to look like the 70s beer cans in Budweiser. Hey, Mephisto. I'm a zit. There you go.
Here.
And this is the scene that Tom referenced that night at the sorority house that, caused me to collapse in laughter. He says, I'm here to pick up Fawn Leibowitz. There's a girl who was killed and it was in the newspaper. She died in a kiln accident.
Yes.
And then he's like, maybe you would like to go out with me? And could you get 3 of your friends?
Such a beautiful woman.
And then they fucking dump
the
him in that black bar.
Yes.
Black guys walk up and go, "Mind if we dance with your dates?" No, not at all. They couldn't
Yeah.
believe.
Yep. Frank Lyman from Amherst, Fawn's fiance. Oh yeah. The roommate is cute.
Oh, she's a dish.
Yeah.
Lisa Bauer. And she was only in like a handful of films. Or she was in Charlie's Angels and this. That was it.
Yep. Yeah.
And then she gave up on TV and film. And this car always reminds me of the car from the movie The Car with Josh Brolin, or not Josh Brolin, his dad, Charles Brolin? James Brolin. Thank you. Check out that fucking jacket. Looks like it was made right off of a sofa. Pink Cadillac. Wait till Otis sees us. Yeah, that backfires.
Yeah. He loves us. Not really.
This is so funny. They walk in and the music stops and everybody looks at the white boys that just walked into a black club.
Yep. We're the only white people in here.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that, Slasher Fred. That Vernon played Doctor Strange in an episode of Spider-Man from the 90s.
Oh yeah, he made a ton of voice work.
That was The Amazing Spider-Man and His Friends, right? The 90s one?
I thought it was just Spider-Man. The one that was on Fox, right?
Yeah. Walks up to the bar and says something to them, then turns to the other guy, and before he can say anything, the fucking knife comes out. There it is.
Yep.
Which reminds me of a Dick Gregory joke from the 60s, where he says, all you white people want to know why we brothers carry knives, because you white fuckers won't let us have guns.
And of course, Otter's got to take her out to the car and try and make out.
Yeah, he's acting like he's heartbroken so they can be alone.
Yeah. Leave all your friends behind. Go ahead. What a douche. But they all want to be Otter. They all look up to him because he's a player.
Then the great part is when they leave the girls and run out there to jump in the car. I don't know why she goes out the window. I've never understood that, but it's so fucking funny that he's got his pants down and she's like naked with like just her underwear on.
Yep. And she dives into the car next to theirs.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about that moment. Yeah, they're circling him now. And the biggest guy in the bar goes, mind if we dance with your dates?
Yeah. No, not at all.
Not at all. He rips the fucking table out.
Yes.
I don't know if that was afterward that they just decided to add that sound or what, but that's just so fucking funny because it's a fixed table. It's not a loose
Yeah,
table.
it's
actually fixed.
it's screwed into the floor and he just lifts it.
Yeah. Rally the troops. Their little army. And
Oh,
those
this is
girls are
great.
traumatized.
Yeah. Ew!
And he's trying to call his girlfriend, Karen Allen. She's not answering because you know where she is.
Right.
Yeah, she's screwing the professor. And I don't mean from Gilligan's Island. Yeah, he delivers that line, women can't live with him. Can't live without him.
She was
Greg
supposed to come
Marmalade
over and help
torturing
make. Oh, I hate to see you make such a chump out of you.
Jump out of you. Yeah, I know.
Oh boy.
When he's in her bedroom, she's on the phone inviting him over. Oh my God. The choking and the punching of the fucking stuffed
Teddy
bear
bear.
was so. And she's like, "Oh my!" You know, it's like it got hurt.
Yeah. Oh, another great line from this scene when Flounder figures out just how bad the car is. He says, "You fucked up. You trusted us."
Yes.
My advice to
And then
you is
right
to start
here,
drinking heavily.
this is the scene. Like Bluto's trying to cheer him up by doing goofy shit. He's like,
Right.
and he grabs the beer can. It's already pre-crushed, smashes it
Yeah.
against his head, and he does that. So
Did that
fucking
work?
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I love this movie so much. Stop blubbering.
Maybe we can help you. Uh-huh. You've already helped me enough. Thanks, guys.
Tell you what, let's do something worse. Yeah.
Your brother's insurance company buys him a new car. It's got to work better than the truth. There it is. My
Which
advice to
reminds
you
me
is
of
just
it reminds me of that situation where we just, accidentally caused this guy's dad's car to get destroyed. Mustang, 68 Mustang.
Oh, you
And
didn't.
it got gutted. Yeah, I've told it before. Anima
Oh
knows
my
that story.
God.
Martin knows that story. I don't Shanatsky, you know that story too, right? I was in fake college and Terry Hutch was our nickname for him. Terrence Healy and I ran out of beer. We're like, we need to get some more beer. We need to find somebody with a car. So we went door to door, floor to floor, looking for somebody with a car. We found a guy. He took us, we got some beer, and then we said, let's go out for a ride. So we went out way outside of town, like 20 miles outside of town. And we found this little area right by the water, and we parked, and we fucked around there for a while, just drinking and climbing a cliff and shit and cracking jokes. Then finally, it's like, all right, man, we better head back. Got back in the car. He started to drive out and drove over a rock that was sticking up out of the ground. And we heard it. He stopped immediately. We jumped out, and it had gashed a hole in the gasoline tank. And so we're like, oh, fuck.
Nice.
So we walk into town, and it took us hours. The sun was coming up. And we went first to the deli on campus. It was, I forget the name of the place on campus. Normally I remember it, but I remember it today. And we went there to get breakfast. I had a bagel with scrambled eggs and fried bologna, and which is like their attempt at sausages, frying bologna. And we ate that, got a friend of ours to drive us all to Kmart, went to Kmart and got a patching kit for a gas tank. Got that, got a container to put some gas in, and drove all the way back out there. The guy had a yellow Volkswagen Beetle, Super Beetle. And we get there, we patch up the tank, put the gas in, it's holding, not leaking. And we say, there you go, dude, you can get back home now. So he repair that shit later. He starts to drive out. We're in the Volkswagen. We pull out and back up so he can pull out in front of us. And as he pulls out and starts to go on the straightaway, all of a sudden there's this loud popping sound and his front wheels went boom. The tie rod snapped. So apparently the damage was a little more extensive than what we thought. And instead of hitting the brakes and stopping, it's coasting, maybe doing 5-10 miles an hour, just coasting and making a horrible racket as it goes, shaking. And the kid in a panic just opens the door and jumps out and rolls on the road. His car keeps going. And we're like, why didn't he hit the brakes? Like, we're yelling at him, why didn't you hit the brakes? And then he starts running after the car, and the car gets up, and as it gets closer to the bridge, it just suddenly veers right and goes off the road down into a ravine. And we're all standing there, and I delivered the line, man, I'm going to hate to be you when you have to explain this to your dad. And he hated us after that. I was told later he avoided us and talking shit about us because we were such assholes. It's like, I felt bad, but there's only so much we could feel bad about, you know? Yeah, this is when he walks in and catches them together in her apartment, which is why he walked in. And this scene where he lifts it up and shows his ass.
Yeah. Why would
Yeah,
Mandy
she
wanna
calls
see
him,
me?
invites him over to see Mandy. And there he is choking that fucking teddy bear. Yeah, I like that line. You puked on Dean Wormer.
Yeah. I can't believe I puked in front of Dean Wormer. Face it, Flounder. You puked on Dean Wormer. Oh.
Yeah, dude. It was that was a night. That was a night. Man, I've written about that night because so much stuff happened that night. Crazy shit.
70s, 80s, man. It was always the principal who was the bad guy.
Yep. We see a repeat of that with Jeffrey. What's his name in Ferris Bueller's Day Off? The pedo guy. And by the way, I thought what they did with his Jeffrey, whatever his name is, it's not right. Anyway, I like the way they handled it in the new Beetlejuice film. I mean, it's not a very good film. It's a fun film. It has some moments in it. But I actually thought they handled that well. I was shocked when they had him back on the movie for the Western series.
Jeffrey Jones, that's right.
Yeah, Jeffrey Jones. Because he was on that TV series where Hickok dies at the beginning.
Yeah, it wasn't Deadwood like after the
Deadwood.
accusations had come out.
The what?
Him being on Deadwood. Was he on? Wasn't he on Deadwood after King Accused, or is that Deadwood like right before? I'm trying to remember.
I'll look it up.
Well, he got
2002. 2002 is when he got in trouble.
mhm.
Yeah, that was like what 2003, 2004. Because I remember it was around like the time The Wire came out.
2004. It was 2 years after.
Yep. Man, Hollywood, they'll forgive anything.
Well, they didn't after a while. He was busted in 2000, but arrested in 2002. And he apparently gave up a lot of names.
Yeah, like Diddy isn't going to. By the way, in advance, Diddy didn't do himself in.
Well, the big question is like nobody seems to be asking J-Lo anything. It's like, man, stuff that he was doing he couldn't hide that shit from someone that he's having a relationship and living with. And was she like being subjected to anything while she was with him and just as kept her mouth shut?
Or just willingly stayed away from it, like knew something was up but didn't want to get involved.
Man, I love them.
Man.
Sorry. So we decided is
Yeah.
did the Germans
I love that.
I mean, did we quit after the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? Forget it. He's rolling.
Yeah.
See, that's why he'll make a great politician.
Oh my God. When he says the line, he says, and when the going gets tough and the music continues, Bernstein's theme, and he just stands there for like the longest time looking back and forth. Like, did you forget what he was supposed to say? And then he goes, the tough get going. It's like so fucking funny. That big long delay that he took.
Yes. Because he doesn't remember how it finishes. He's forgotten the end of the quote. He's trying to remember it. The music just keeps vamping. Da-da, 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 da-da.
He's waiting for it.
He's waiting for it. Oh.
It's like, oh,
We don't want to get in trouble. Oh, man.
And he runs out of the room expecting them to follow him.
Yeah. He's come back in and he's just berating them for being a bunch of pussies. We got to take these bastards.
Matheson stands up and he goes, he's right. We need to stand up no matter how many die. What?
That's right. Absolutely requires a really futile and stupid gesture to be done on somebody's part. And we're just the guys to do it.
Do it.
Yeah.
And that fires them up.
See, I love this. You see D-Day actually grinding and welding, and he's got a fucking what do you call it? It's a hydraulic
power chisel. It's a power chisel.
He's just fucking digging into the car, just doing damage, not really helping. Oh, the rock scene.
Yeah. You want to go out? It's 2 a.m.
And that scene, later has a bit of an echo in a John Cusack film, Say Anything, where he stands outside the house holding up the stereo. playing In Your Eyes by Peter Gabriel. Gosh, if only John Cusack were as cool as the characters he's played.
It's called
See,
acting, Gerry.
she rolls off of him. And this is where she
They say
confesses,
no.
I'm only 13.
They haven't done it because he's still taking off his clothes, and he says, "What we are going to do, I have never done before." He's confessing that he's a virgin.
She's like, neither have I. I have another confession. I'm only 13. It's like,
Oops.
holy shit. There he is.
Doug Kenny.
Doug Kenny. God rest his soul.
Yeah,
I love that docu-film about him, docudrama. It's really good.
it was.
He was one of the main guys that brought National Lampoon together and helped
Yeah.
make this film happen.
Yeah, he was the founder. He was one of the two founders of National Lampoon. This was his heyday.
What do you think led to the downfall of National Lampoons? Because they had really great
Liberals.
stuff being. Yeah.
Excessive liberalism.
Yes. They stopped trying to be funny and started trying to send a message.
Because
Yeah,
they went
Where
from
have we heard
this
that? But
to Van Wilder to, was it Club
Van
Dread?
Wilder was great. I love that movie, dude.
Well, yeah, it's
Ryan
a fun
Reynolds
movie, but it's
kicked it out,
not
knocked it out
like
of the park with that movie.
it's not as good as it's not as grand as this, though. It's not like, one of the best comedies of all time. It's like, it's a good movie. And then to Club Dread, where it's just like, what is going on, guys? I kind of liked Loaded Weapon myself. That was a fun one.
For those of you that didn't hear, Janotsky, I don't know if you were here when I said it, but Matthew Marston has agreed for doing an interview on the show.
Nice. Congratulations.
very cool.
For those of you that don't remember him, he is the sniper in Rambo,
Yes.
where he opens up that 50 caliber.
50
The-
schoolboy.
This is actually some good DNC here. So I think some of these guys are either military or were actual Razzies. I love the way Hoover's just like sneaking around with this thing, look like the Mad Bomber.
Spy versus Spy from Mad Magazine.
Yeah. Doug Kenny over here fucking takes the baton, knocks the guy. When the guy throws it in the air, he knocks him out of the way and grabs the baton and starts marching him down an alleyway into a wall.
And the band never notices that they're
Never seems to
They never-
notice.
they
So
they
dumb,
don't
but
notice the
funny.
change. They just follow him down the alley. And then they bend their trombones against the wall at the end of the alley.
That's
like
the
they can't
funniest
stop
part is when you
marching.
see the trombones like getting bent. Like,
Yes.
oh fuck, it's ridiculous. Like, guys in the front like should know better, but the guys behind them, you understand why they're fucked up. They're following the guy in front of them.
Right.
The John Kennedy float's so fucking funny. And if you're wondering when this took place, it would have been right around 62 to 64, right in that area.
Well, the film
Either
opens
before or
in
right
62.
after Kennedy was killed.
No, before.
What's that?
Before, because the movie opens in 62. So
Okay, so
I
it's
think
still
they were-
62. It all takes
Yeah.
place in 62.
Yeah, I think so. Or either that or spring of 63. That would be the
Oh my
the-
God, there's a word you won't see much anymore in movies.
Get up.
Yeah, that's the word. Babs, this is like such a great scene. And John Landis ends all of his films with that card. If you guys didn't know it, do you guys know what I'm talking about?
What?
No.
Title cards?
He puts a title card at the end of all his movies after this one.
Except for what? American Werewolf, because that just ends, right?
Well, that was his next film, really. Next major film. I have the title card somewhere. I'll see if I can find it.
Belushi as a pirate is it's just hysterical in this scene.
Down come the bleachers.
Ramming
I love when he drives into it and you see Vernon like, I hate these guys.
Yes. You can take your thumb out of my ass anytime now, Carmine. Oh.
Here we
Hoover's
go.
Still trying.
Yeah.
Public defender, Baltimore, Maryland. There it is. We have to get married, Daddy. Lawrence
Editor of
Kroger,
National
National
Lampoon Magazine.
Out of there, you bastard. And he pops out of the trunk.
You'll have to come back later. I'm doing the dishes.
Oh my God. And he pops up and he goes, hey, look at my thumb. Punches him. Gee, you dumb. And I can't remember. Oh, he was in the Nixon White House and ended up in prison.
Gynecologist.
Gynecologist, Beverly Hills.
Yep.
This is where the cops grab Boone. Oh my God. And Flounder, he's going to shoot fucking Flounder. Shoots the bottle out of his hand. Because he's got live ammo.
He's actually got live ammo. Yep. And he gets scooped up by the Black Hand, and it says that he ended up in Vietnam and got fragged by his own men. Kent Dorfman, 66 sensitivity trainer, encounter groups of Cleveland Inc. Daniel Simpson Day, whereabouts unknown. Takes off in the Andy Griffith car. Oh, I love this. Please, they're looting the Food King. You got him out. Nah. And they end up together, and then they marry, and then they divorce a few years later. Yeah.
I love the ending of this film. And then he grabs his banner and swings down and grabs the girl. Not Babs, the other one.
And he becomes the United States Senator, if I remember right.
Mr. and Mrs. Blutowski.
Yeah.
There's Babs. Poor Babs. Babs ended up working
Barbara
for
Sue
Universal
Jansen.
Studios, the tour guide.
And all that's left of the drums playing. Senator and Mrs. John Blutarsky, Washington, D.C.
What a fucking ending. Animal House.
Gosh. Doom.
I love that song. Everybody do the Bluto. Come on, baby, dance with me. Because, baby, if you do the Bluto, you will get an A in lobotomy. Do the Bluto, do the Bluto, do the Bluto. I love that song. Stephen Bishop's just the bomb diggity, yo. And this is what we're talking about, or what I was talking about. At the end of Landis's films, he would throw this as a title card at the very end of the movie. And I'm waiting until the comic goes down so I can put this up so you can read the whole thing.
By the way, according to IMDb, the music in this was all composed by Elmer Bernstein. You know, like the Faber theme and so on.
Could you please take it down, Martin? So there it is. It's at the end of this movie and all of his other films. When in Hollywood, visit Universal Studios, ask for Babs.
It's crazy to think that if John Belushi had lived, he would have basically all of Bill Murray's big roles would have gone to him.
Yeah, because he was the one set to play Vinkman in Ghostbusters.
Yeah, and probably would have fought for him for Groundhog Day and everything else, and that's how it would have been.
In Groundhog Day, the sad thing about that story is that led to the end of Harold Ramis's and Bill Murray's friendship, because he had just gone through a divorce. He was acting like an ass. Harold called him out on it, and Bill wouldn't talk to him anymore. Finished the film, wouldn't talk to him until it was announced he was dying, and then he went to his side and was with him pretty much to the very end. Kept staying with him.
Harold Ramis never got enough love as a writer because he was a comedic writer.
Absolutely, he saved Ghostbusters. Yeah. He's an amazing comedic writer and a good actor. He's really good. I enjoyed him in As Good as It Gets with Nicholson.
Yeah, and like Vacation was based on his thing in National Lampoon's in the first place, so like he's responsible for that movie existing.
Because part of it was based on a true story because he wrote about it.
Yeah, the article that they used as the basis for Vacation was by Ramis. Yeah.
Yep. So that's this film. This is a classic. I love this film. Anima, can't stand it. Hated it. But I got to be honest. I don't think that's uncommon. I think that women in particular probably don't enjoy this film as much as guys do. I think some women do enjoy it, but I would say mostly this is a male audience.
That's a guy movie. That's definitely a guy movie. Yeah, but that's not my main problem. You know that. I don't do silly funny. I don't get it.
Yeah, I know. Which I don't understand why you love me, because I'm silly.
Yeah, I don't understand that either.
That's right.
It's a mystery.
So anyway, Animal House, classic film. I hope you guys enjoyed the discussion. It's glad Tom popped in with us for a little bit. That was fun. Any more behind the scene anecdotes that we may have not thought about, guys?
I don't know too much about it. I know a lot more about the basic history behind this particular era, but I never did a deep dive on Animal House. Like, I know a lot more about Vacation than I do Animal House.
Is that your favorite film?
It's just the one that, you just find out things about through osmosis. So a lot of the little things are how much of a jerk Chevy Chase was. Like, that got a lot more to me. I did hear, what was it? Wasn't George W. Bush basically Bluto in college. I'd always kind of heard a rumor that maybe Bluto was based upon him. I'm not sure
I
how
wouldn't
true
be
that was,
surprised.
but that was just something I'd heard.
Because he was a boozer. He really was. A booze hound. And
Yeah.
I think his wife actually hit somebody and killed him.
Yeah. So it's like, is the whole thing with him becoming a Sarah supposed to be like a knock at George W?
It could be way, but it's still also like Tip O'Neill pops into my mind. This is the actual board game that came out.
Huh.
It's a trivia game.
Never seen this.
As you answer questions, just like in Trivial Pursuit, you advance until a certain point where you have to like answer a series of questions in order to win. So I thought that was always cool. So let me go look up some trivia real quick. Let me look up fun trivia. There we go. Fun trivia. Kent had said, my brother Fred was a Delta. That makes me a legacy. They got to take me. It's like their law. Don't worry. I'll put in a good word for you. Yeah, I like that, but that's not really trivia. Let's go to IMDb for their trivia. John Belushi's performance in the cafeteria scene was entirely improvised. When he began piling food on his tray, director John Landis urged the camera operator to stay with him. The infamous "I'm a Zit" gag was also improvised. Dwayne Jesse's performance as Otis Day, you brought that up during the show repeatedly. One of Donaldson's personal favorites of all of his films. Oh, yeah. So Donald Sutherland was so convinced of the movie's lack of potential that when offered a percent of the gross or a flat fee of $75,000 for 3 days, he took the $75,000. He would have earned between $3 to $4 million if he agreed to the percentage.
Yeah,
the scene in which Bluto.
He's been kicking himself ever since.
I mean, 3 days of work, still damn good pay, even by today's.
And we just lost him.
Yeah.
The scene in which Bluto crushes a beer can against his forehead and smashes a beer bottle over his head to cheer Flounder up took 18 takes to get it right because Stephen first kept breaking character and laughing. The hole that John Belushi makes in the wall with the guitar. Okay. Vernon Bloom said that her scene with Dean Wormer, where she is drunk and he is on the phone with the mayor, was completely improvised because Landis was unhappy with the dialogue written in the script. John Belushi had to fly back and forth. That's right, because he was shooting SNL during the week. And that's not the first film with stuff like that happened, where cast members from SNL had to keep going back. Because the same story happened with
Wayne's World?
No, it wasn't Wayne's World. They did it too, but no, it was later with Chris Farley and David Spade.
Wayne's World got rushed. The second one,
Black
because
Sheep.
people were so busy.
It was either Black Sheep or I think it was Tommy Boy. And Tommy Boy, they kept, and this is what ended up leading to stress on the set between the two of them, because there are some infamous stories of the way he would react. Chris Farley would react to David Spade over things, like when they were working with Rob Lowe, and he went to lunch with Rob because Farley wasn't feeling well and stayed in a hotel. And then Farley found out later that while he wasn't feeling well in his room, that they had gone to have dinner together, and he got fucking jealous and pissed. And that led to a fist fight between him and Spade on the set.
Wow.
And amazingly, right after the fist fight, they got up and had to do the scene. And it's been brought up. It's in the trivia on the film. You can actually see how disheveled they both look after, like, they were just physically fighting and then shooting a scene. This was Kevin Bacon's first role. When he went to the premiere, he wasn't allowed to sit with the rest of the cast because the Esters didn't believe that he was in the movie. After firing the crew hairdresser who wanted extra time off, Landis took the core Delta actors to a local barber shop and asked the barber if he could do early 1960s haircuts. The man looked at the pictures and said it would be easy. He did all of the actors' haircuts for the rest of the shoot.
Nice.
During interviews conducted for the 30th anniversary of this film, Karen Allen revealed some interesting trivia about her nude scene, which you brought up earlier. During filming, Belushi would often go to local nightclubs to check out the various bands. He was fascinated by a musician named Curtis Salgado. Salgado's sunglasses, harp playing, and love of the blues inspired the Belushi to do the Blues Brothers. Let's see. In real life, the Delta House actors partied together every night, but John Landis kept John Belushi separated from them by lodging him and his wife, Judith Belushi Pisano, in a house a few miles from the set. Belushi was a notorious partier, and Landis wanted him to remain sober throughout the shoot. Belushi did host a few parties at the house, but stayed clean because he saw the film as a great career opportunity. And he would have gone so much further, because like the last movie he did was the Great
Continental Divide.
Continental Divide. That was it. I said Great Divide. Continental Divide was his last movie. And even though he was kind of miscast in that film, I liked the film. I thought he did a good job.
I mean, hell, SNL trivia also Farley, man, he was going to be Shrek.
Let's see. When looking for colleges to film at, the script was sent to over 250 schools around the United States. It was unanimously rejected because they all felt it was too raunchy. The president of the University of Oregon only allowed the movie to be filmed on the campus because he decided he did not know how to read the screenplays. He didn't understand it. In '67, he had received the screenplay for a movie, but had denied permission to it previously, and he kicked himself in the ass for that, and the movie was The Graduate. So he didn't want to make that same mistake.
Well, good call on his part.
Yeah. The female clerk for whom Flounder Seafood first buys the marbles is in real life his actual wife. To prepare for the roles, and despite being warned against mixing with the students, the cast of the Deltas, this is the story I was talking about yesterday. New York City working on SNL, accepted an invitation from some girls to a real frat party at the University of Oregon, and the real fraternity members treated them with hostility, and a brawl broke out between the cast and this fraternity. A real fist fight.
Yes. Kevin Bacon got his ass kicked out of the place.
Yeah, Bacon got his ass kicked, but Bruce McGill lost a few teeth.
Yeah.
The guy who played D-Day, and got a black eye. When Belushi returned to the set and learned of the fight, he had to be physically restrained from seeking revenge. Although accidental, this real-life incident proved emblematic of the members of the characters of Delta House, that they stuck together, even as characters. I thought that was really cool. The role of D-Day was written for Dan Aykroyd and based on his motorcycle-loving personality, which I mentioned that earlier. And, of course, Red mentioned him taking that of the actual story of the stair scene, because it really did happen. But it wasn't Aykroyd, but he loved motorcycles. But according to Landis, SNL producer Lorne Michaels threatened to fire Aykroyd if he took the role. It was bad enough that Belushi was there. He wasn't going to allow Aykroyd to go too. This is the film debut of the popular actor Kevin Bacon and Karen Allen. Sean McMartin, who played Lucky Boy, whose wish for a playmate magically comes true. That scene is funny when she goes flying through the window. And he's sitting there with a dirty magazine in his hand, this little 11-year-old kid. He looks up and he goes, "Thank you, God." Went on to become a pastor at a local church in Cottage Grove, Oregon. A newspaper headline above the story announced, "Lucky Boy still thanking God."
Yeah. He was in an anniversary documentary of the making of Animal House. He says, "Yeah, I was the lucky boy. Of course, I'm a pastor now, so."
That's
Now, Harold
get
Ramis,
awkward.
you
Yeah.
bet. Harold Ramis, who co-wrote the film, based some of the pranks on his college experiences at Washington University in St. Louis, specifically when Otter and Boone are hitting golf balls at the ROTC. So that's actually something that happened. The funny part in that is Boone can't hit anything, so Otter has to do it.
Yes.
Otter's the one who hits the horse, and Otter's the one who hits him in the head. More money was spent on advertising and promotion for the film than making the film itself.
Now that's just standard practice almost for movies.
Well, it's usually a 50-50. Like, whatever the budget is usually equals the budget that was spent in marketing. During an A&E documentary on the 30th anniversary of the movie, it was revealed that when Bluto takes Charming Guy's guitar and smashes it, oh yeah, you told this part that anyway, the last part of it is the scene was completely improvised from the script. The terrified reaction from Stephen Bishop and the other actors was genuine. That's funny. To get the role of Niedermeyer, Mark Metcalf lied about his ability to ride horses. That's so common because my friend Sean Young, who I just talked to yesterday, she's such a sweetheart. She wanted to talk to me about a photo of Anima that I showed her. She just loved it. She's like, your girlfriend has a Cheshire cat smile.
I still don't know whether that was a compliment or not. I'm not sure.
I think it is. She really liked it.
Well, I mean, she says she likes you, so it's probably a compliment.
So she said she could ride a horse, okay?
And it got her so injured that she had to give up a role, right?
That's what I'm getting ready to say. So she told Tim Burton that she could ride a horse, and she was playing Selena Kyle in not Selena Kyle. She was playing what's her name? Kim Basinger's part, and Vicky Vale.
Vicky Vale.
And there was originally a scene. It's in the book too, where they go horseback riding, and so she said she could ride. And while they were riding, doing rehearsals, she fell and broke her collarbone, and that's why she lost the role and it went to Kim Basinger. So, and this is why I don't like Tim Burton sometimes, because he threw her under the bus when she tried out for that, because he had promised her she would be in the next one. He gave her his word, and then when she showed up as a joke, as Batgirl, or as a Catwoman, he let that go up public like she was a lunatic. Like it just pisses me off. So originally popular during the 1950s and early 60s, fraternity toga parties became a huge fad all over again across the United States after the release of this film in 78.
Yeah, even when I was a kid, I would hear people just yell, toga, toga. I had no concept for where it came from.
So PJ O'Rourke blames this movie for the decline and fall of the National Lampoon magazine. After the immense success of the movie at the box office, various Hollywood studios and producers began to offer jobs to the best Lampoon writers. When they realized that they can make much more money writing movies, they left the Lampoon. And that's really part of it too. And they started getting lesser writers, and worse than that, they started getting the politically agenda-driven writers, and it drove the National Lampoon into the ground. I miss the old days, man. When I was in high school, reading the National Lampoon was like one of my favorite things to do. It. Jim Woodward, Mike Beatty, all of us would get it, and I will never forget the little comic strip they did in there of if Bewitched was real. And it's so fucking evil and funny. The end of it ends with, next time, Tabitha's Revenge. Black extras had to be bussed in from Portland for the segment of Dexter Lake Club due to the scarcity of black people around Eugene, Oregon. The scene where John Belushi is teaching everyone the dirty lyrics of The Kingsman, 1963 Louie Louie, is based on the actual investigation conducted by the FBI, in which the agency spent more than 2.5 years trying to decode the song, based on complaints by religious groups that the profanity and obscenity aimed at teenagers was hidden in muffled lyrics. After spending more than 2 years and tens of thousands of taxpayer dollars, the agency announced that it could find no obscene words in the song. And this is interesting too. This will be the last one. The writers chose 1962 as the setting because they saw it as the last innocent year of America. And it's true. The United States, American people have started becoming cynical because of what happened in 63.
Yep.
We went into overdrive because of 9/11.
Yeah, it just keeps progressively getting worse. It's like we had Clinton get impeached, and then they impeached Trump, and it just nobody has faith in the government anymore. Although I will point out that they did a poll, was it Rasmussen poll, said that 33% of those they interviewed Democrats. 33% of the Democrats they interviewed supported killing Trump, and 43% were unsure.
Yeah, we're heading towards a nice little civil war if we don't stop.
Sorry, 23% were unsure, which leaves just over 40% that are rational that they interviewed. That's terrifying to me. You wouldn't find that if you interviewed conservatives supporting the death of another candidate. That's just unheard of. And that's shocking.
Yeah.
And I do trust Rasmussen for the most part.
Unfortunately, we're not going to be having a fun 3 months.
Well, we'll never have another 1962, man. This country is so cynical. I'm cynical. I admit it. I freely admit I'm a very cynical person. I look at things and I hope for the best, but I assume it's going to go to shit.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it like Belushi. Shit.
That's good though, because that way you can only be positively surprised if it doesn't go to shit.
Well, no,
yes.
it's bad. It's bad to go in things with an expectation of a negative outlook. It reinforces the worldview.
No. Hold on. It's not an expectation. It's you're preparing for a bad outcome. That way, you're always surprised when it's not that bad. It's not expecting it. It's just preparing for things to be fucked up.
Preparing for the worst. Bumpy Johnson is here, by the way. Never had National Lampoon's, just Mad and Cracked. Only adults were allowed to read National Lampoon.
Yep.
And that we were able to get it was fucking awesome. It was like, I don't know, it was just like getting porn. It's like
you would get whatever you wanted, Gerry. You had your ways.
Oh, I was a sneaky bastard. I'll tell you a funny little anecdote and then we got to wrap up. Okay, so I and my friends would always go to Hazel Hill in Fredericksburg. It was the black community. And they had their own little liquor store there. And those motherfuckers didn't care what our age was. And we would go in there and buy Mad Dog 2020. That's Mogan David wine that you can actually melt plastic toys with.
Oh, that one. I remember. You told me about that.
It's all purple. What color is it? What flavor is it? Purple.
Yeah.
It's nasty.
Yeah, Kennedy was killed in November of 63.
Yep.
And two things were huge because that was right around the time of the Beatles hitting America. And and it occurred at the same time as the premiere of Doctor Who. And in fact, nobody watched the premiere. So strings were pulled, and miraculously, they aired the episode again the next week, and a huge watchership, but not after Kennedy was killed. So 62, I think that's a good choice by the makers, the producers of this film, the writers, to make it 62, because it really was the last year of innocence for Americans. After that, we started becoming very cynical. Bumpy Johnson says Reagan's shooting brought people together briefly, but he survived a very serious health scare, whereas Trump was out and walking that day, raising that fist up too, right after it happened. Blood all over him. Jesus Christ, man. If he hadn't turned his head, that thing would have evacuated his brains.
He turned his head to read something off that video wall.
Off of the monitor, yeah.
Yep.
He didn't just dodge a bullet. We all dodged a bullet when that happened, because I don't want to think about what it would be like if he had.
Good statement. Yeah, it's a good statement. Yep. So
true that.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son. It is absolutely the greatest line of this movie, delivered by John Vernon. Great. Dean Wormer will go down in history as one of my top 10 favorite villains in a film.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank you for the $10, Maxime. You didn't have to do that, and you did, and we deeply appreciate it. So for you, we shall play you a video. Let's see. What's a good one? I wish I had clips. The problem with clipping this film, there's so much music in it. Incidental music. It's just laced with music. So I decided I'm not even going to try to clip it.
Also, so I didn't do any timestamps because I was annoyed enough watching the movie. I didn't want to.
Yeah, she was not interested in helping me in any way, shape, or form.
No, you know that.
Here's your burger, sir. Thank you. Sir, I need another $1.25.
Is that right? Keep the change. Roadhouse.
So fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life. Thank you again, Max Demon. I appreciate it, buddy. And so as we reach the end of the show, I will play my favorite old man thing.
Oh, my Lord!
Which is how Keith and I ended every episode for 2 years. Get off our lawns. Because we're old guys. So at any point, you can take that down, buddy. Thank you. So we are done here. Red Shirt, anything you want to add before we go? What you're going to be doing? Anything?
Not right now. A lot of stuff going on in real life. So plans on YouTube or with YouTube are very much up in the air for me for the foreseeable future. But I will be back.
So you're not going to be with us on Toxic Tuesday? What, you're not going to be with us?
Toxic Tuesday, yes. I should be there. That's Billy Madison, I believe.
And by the way, you were there for the last one. I broke an Olympic record for breaking Nick.
Yes, you did.
I was just brilliant. Kept breaking him. It was fun. I enjoy doing that. I really do. I watch him, and then I think, what's the most fucked up thing I could say that goes with what we're talking about?
Yeah, I like being able to give the occasional assist on that one.
Yeah, it's like you, Tom, Brian, and I just really come with the jokes, and I will say that Tom and in particular Brian are probably two of the funniest guys I know. But I think that when I'm at my peak, when I'm at a good moment, I'm funnier than anybody in the room. And that's why that night I was really on. But I waited, if you didn't notice, to the second hour. I didn't talk much during the first hour. And I waited because I wanted everybody to get their everything done that they wanted to get done. And then I was going to fucking open up on fucking Nick and just relentlessly wreck him. And I spent the last hour just breaking him left and right. It was funny. I love doing that. I can do it a little bit to Loki too. But Loki's a little, I don't know, he handles the humor better. So he doesn't like break so easily. But I did break Loki a couple times. I know when he drops his head down, I just broke him. But I love doing that show. I really do. I hate it when I miss doing the show. I just hate it because, and I said this about the last time we were together. I forgot we're doing a show. I don't know if that happens to you, but it does with me. When I am having such a good time hanging out with my friends, that's all I'm doing. I forget I'm doing a show. I'm just hanging out with my friends, talking shit. Which is I've been a pro at talking shit for a long time. I have a following on Facebook just for it. Chuck Dixon stole and admits to it on the show. He admitted he stole from me because I talked shit to a guy because he was wanting to fight me, and I looked at him and I said, "I can kill you more ways than you know how to die." And it broke the guy, not in a funny way, but scared the shit out of him when I said it to him. And I didn't have to fight him, and it made me feel better. I'm like, God, I did not want to beat somebody's ass tonight.
Yeah, well, sitting on him is definitely one of the ones you'd be good at.
Today, yeah. I'm talking about back when I was young. I was strapping back then. All American. So, and that was in the Army. And in the Army, you say shit to people, threaten them. So I told somebody, I said, Army life is a lot like prison, just a lot less gay sex.
Unless it's the Air Force, in which case there's a lot more.
There's more. And the Navy. I will break you. Yeah. By the way, I will be doing Red Heat with Jim Belushi and Schwarzenegger.
Oh.
And as much as I love that film, something was brought up recently by the gun handler that trained Keanu Reeves. And he brought up the fact that what he didn't like about that film that pissed him off is that here is an actor, movie star, Arnold Schwarzenegger, inspired by the film Dirty Harry, because that's the film that inspired him to want to be a movie star. He loved the movie Dirty Harry, and what does he do? He gets a fucking pistol that's more powerful than what Dirty Harry carries in the film. He makes fun of Dirty Harry in it. But when he fires it, he doesn't have it kick. And what he's saying is, I'm stronger than Dirty Harry. And so I can handle that gun and it won't kick in my hand. Is why he did that, which is stupid.
Yep.
It makes no sense. That pistol will kick in anybody's fucking hands. And it was sort of an arrogant thing that Schwarzenegger decided to do in that. But I still love the movie. I really do. And Belushi's funny in it. Belushi he's somewhere between Bill Murray and John Belushi.
Hell.
Brother.
Terminator 2, I think the entire reason the minigun scene exists is because he saw Rambo and went, no, I'm going to be using an even bigger gun.
I'm going to use a minigun. Yeah, exactly. And of course, the minigun is in Predator, because that's what Jesse Ventura carries, which it's not actually a minigun, if you guys didn't know that. It's an actual weapon with a false rotating gun on it. That's fake. But it's still cool what they did. So, but anyway, guys, that's the end of the show. Shinatsky, are you going to be any place doing anything that you want to bring up?
Just working on some script related stuff with Tom Conkle, fingers crossed, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I talked to him the other day, and I'm hoping he likes the script, because Shinatsky and I worked on a script together. It's a script I originally did that he helped me finish, or kind of finish, so we could give it to Tom to read. Hopefully he'll enjoy it.
As I said, he was excited, so we'll see. Knock on several pieces of wood.
So let's see who all was here. We got Snorts was here, Emmanuel, Regis Fritchie is here, Josh Coe, Free, Slasher Fred is here. He is our in-house master of horror. Eastland Burkholder, Penny, Max Shea, Jonathan Hancock, Peter Vinkman Fansite, aka Vinkman's Girl, is here. Geek Daddy, Soul Assassin, Jacob the Critic, that's a good friend of mine right here in Springfield area. Cam's Crash Courses, Mephisto, and thank you, by the way, Mephisto, again for giving us a raid. I appreciate it, man. Words and Pictures, Bumpy Johnson, named after a famous gangster, Max Demon, and Jamie G. Voltaic Blood. It's good to see you guys. Hope everybody had fun. Tom was here for a little bit. I don't know if you were here for all of it, but Tom had some great moments in the show. And of course, Red Shirt came with the knowledge, which was great. And Chinatsky too, man. And deeply appreciate you, Martin. Anima, thanks for being here despite hating this movie. I mean it. I thank you. I'm not talking about Martin. Martin loves it. Anima hated the movie. And yes, she's a trooper. She's here. So that's it. Bush didn't show up. That's sad. And all right.
The following people are gay.